Hey guys, before the start of this video, I wanted to go ahead and give you a little bit of a couple of news snippet updates on what's going on with the Buccaneers situations. And don't worry, if any of these change, like major changes that is, I'll definitely make a video to keep you guys as up to date as I can. But a lot of this was reported by Greg and among others, so keep that in mind. So, the first thing of note is that the Buccaneers have signed cornerback Marcus Williams, who is most notable for playing for the New York Jets from 2014 all the way to 2017, where I believe he had 10 interceptions in 3 years, and then he most recently played for the Houston Texans, so that's cool. He's definitely not going to be a guy who I think is a starting guy, but I think you could definitely have a lot worse depth options. So right now it's going to be Grimes, Hargraves, Carlton Davis, MJ Stewart, Ryan Smith, and Marcus Williams. So we're carrying 6 cornerbacks. That's pretty interesting to me, but I think Marcus Williams is definitely a very wonderful depth addition. So the second bit of news is that the Buccaneers have reached injury settlements with Devontae Bond, Riley Bullough, and Devontae Harris. So what this means is that these 3 players, both Bond, Bullough, and Harris, they are allowed to go sign wherever they want now. They've reached an injury settlement, so they are no longer on the Buccaneers injured reserve list. They're fully healthy and they can go sign with whatever team they want. I wish all 3 of these guys nothing but the best. Hopefully they can re-sign with the Bucs. Hopefully maybe 1 or 2 of them do re-sign with the Bucs so we can have them back and they can be productive for our team. But wherever they go, I wish them nothing but the best. Unless they go to a rival like Keith Tandy did, then I don't wish them the best, and I hope that they lose. So that is what it is. I mean, just joking. Shout out to Keith Tandy. But, by the way, the Buccaneers released Adam Geddes in the corresponding move when signing Marcus Williams. So, okay, I guess. A little bit of cornerback news is that the Buccaneers had Bashaud Breeland in for a visit, which I thought was pretty interesting. Again, I think they had him in for a visit and then just decided to sign Marcus Williams, but still it was a pretty interesting thing to see. Maybe they're just preparing for something, because right now the initial thing is that Vernon Hargraves potentially has a season-ending injury for the Buccaneers. Now, don't panic, okay? Do not type in the comments right now, well, geez, God, you kidding me, Hargraves, Jesus, okay? Trust me, that was my first thought for a second too, but then I thought, okay, well, let's see where this goes. Potential, you know, that's the big word. So Hargraves is getting a second opinion here Wednesday. He is going to get a second opinion. Hopefully it's a positive opinion, because that would really suck if we were without Hargraves for the entire year after just playing 1 game. That would absolutely suck. So don't worry, the latest I hear on this, I will give you guys an update video for sure. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in today's video we are previewing Week 2 versus the Philadelphia Eagles. It's going to be pretty good, and it should be a really interesting game. Not a lot of people still expect us to win this game, which is fine. You know, it is what it is. I'll be honest, not a lot of people had us winning this last game either, and, you know, it is what it is. But I will say this, okay? We went to the Saints Stadium, you know, the Superdome, and we defeated a team that a lot of people thought were going to win the Super Bowl last year, and they were only 1 play away from making it to the NFC Championship game. And we beat a team that was a lot of people's pick to win the Super Bowl this year, and we scored 48 points on them and beat them in their home stadium. So that's pretty good, I'm just saying. But this week, the Buccaneers are facing the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, and that's the first team I want to talk about here. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the defense, because when I looked at the last game versus the Atlanta Falcons, my first thought was, well, this game really sucks. But then I started thinking about it a little bit more, and I thought, oh, well, maybe it's just good defense. And let's talk about that Eagles defense, because they have a phenomenal defensive line with guys like Derek Barnett, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox. Those 3 guys alone are just ridiculous. Those could be high-tier starters on any other team, and they're good starters. You know, they're high-tier starters for this team. But a guy like Derek Barnett, he's kind of more of a semi-rotational guy. He's in the numbers. You also have Michael Bennett, which, Jesus, we just have to keep on being reminded of Michael Bennett, I guess. And then in the secondary, you have some really good guys there as well, like Jalen Mills, among others. So all in all, this is a really, really good, especially the front line, the front defensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles. It's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens against this Buccaneers offensive line, which, quite honestly looked very good week 1 going up against this New Orleans Saints defensive line, which a lot of people thought were really good, which I thought they were really good as well. But our offensive line held tough. Donovan Smith, who was probably playing 80%, dude's a freaking Iron Man. The guy's made of steel. He's cool, you know, he's great. I'll be honest, I used to not think very highly of Donovan Smith. I used to think he was inconsistent, but I apologize for that. That's my bad. I should have waited a little bit longer, and I'm on the Donovan Smith train now. I'm sorry I was wrong. You still have guys like Ali Marpet, who's just a freaking stud. Ryan Jensen, who proved to just be a god-tier leader, and he was great this past game for the Bucs. You know, he's a real anchor of this offensive line. He's really looking like one of the best free agent additions we made, if not the best free agent addition we've made in a couple of years now. You still have Caleb Benenoch at right guard, who is, he's pretty underrated. I think he does a pretty decent job. And then you still have DeMar Dotson, DeMar Dotson's one of the best tackles, period, in the league. So that's a pretty good offensive line, and they showed it last week by protecting Ryan Fitzpatrick and giving him time to make just some beautiful throws. So it'll be very interesting to see the matchup of the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive line. Next thing I want to talk about is obviously I want to talk about our offense, okay? Now, obviously we have to temper our expectations. We shouldn't expect the Buccaneers to go out there, drop 48 points on everybody, and Ryan Fitzpatrick will have 417 passing yards, 5 total touchdowns every game. We should not expect that. But even if we did half as good as that, Ryan Fitzpatrick throws for like 250 yards or something like that, 2 touchdowns, the Bucs score 24 points, that's a winnable game. That's a very winnable game. So even if our offense is half as good as it was last week, I think we'll be in a very good spot because, that offensive showing was just so good. And it was so encouraging to see, because that means that, we have the potential to do that in any given game. That's a phenomenal thing. With Todd Monken still calling the plays, it just gets that much more encouraging. It appears that he knows how to use the Bucs weapons, be the small shifty guy or the tall, sizable receivers. It looks like Todd and Ryan Fitzpatrick, to that same degree, know how to use these weapons to the best of their ability. So they're going to be in good hands. I think they're going to give the Eagles defense a lot of fits. They definitely looked like a top 5 offense last week, right? They looked phenomenal. They looked amazing. So for what I'm expecting from this offense, I want to see consistency, obviously not to that high tier, but I want to see consistency to the point where we still go out there and we can still look good, because we have all the weapons. We have the offense there. It's just a matter of being consistent and using that huge momentum we just gained by that win last week and using it to our advantage and going out there and just continuing what we started last week. On the defensive side of the ball, just let's take a look at the Eagles offense first, okay? Because I talked about this. You're without Carson Wentz and you're without Alshon Jeffrey. That is huge. That's a really, really, really big deal, because you're without a guy who arguably could have won the MVP award last year had he played the whole season, and arguably one of the more underrated wide receivers in this league. A lot of people were saying he was a top 15, maybe even top 10 wide receiver a couple of years ago when he was running with Brandon Marshall and the Chicago Bears. So you really don't underestimate Alshon Jeffrey and the value that he brings to this Philadelphia Eagles offense, but he probably won't be playing in this game, so that's really encouraging. And you're without an MVP candidate last year. You have Nick Foles, which, he won the Super Bowl, James. He beat the Patriots. Listen, okay, I still don't have that much faith in Nick Foles, because yeah, you played the Patriots and you beat them in the Super Bowl, but you didn't exactly look the best versus the Atlanta Falcons, now did ya? And look, talking on Nick Foles, I know, okay, James, he won. He beat the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. I get that, but Nick Foles has been proven to be very inconsistent at times. He had his one good year with Philadelphia. He sucked for a couple of years with the Rams and Chiefs, etc. He was a backup quarterback, and then he came back with the Eagles and just happened to magically do good. I don't buy it. I think that he's a very marginal talent. I think he has a limit, and I don't think that his ceiling is that high. So I think that Nick Foles can be held in check relatively easily. Whenever you factor in the top weapons being Nelson Agholor Aguilar, who's actually a pretty decent wide receiver in his own right. You also have Zach Ertz, who's pretty good as well. You also have Jay Ajayi, who emerged last week as this pretty good running back option. So the Eagles do have some weapons, and it's up to Mike Smith and the defense to just go out there and make the necessary adjustments. Please, Mike Smith, just make the necessary adjustments. My God, if our defense was good, you know, Jesus, we'd be looking like a Super Bowl team right now. Maybe not, but I'm just saying we would look a lot better. And the best part is that we don't have to be playing a top 5 offense this week. I don't think the Eagles offense is top 5, but the Saints offense for sure is a top 5 offense consistently. So I wouldn't say the Eagles are there yet. They do have a phenomenal offensive line, but hopefully we get Brent Grimes back. I obviously don't know the status of Vernon Hargreaves yet, but we'll see. And Carlton Davis, you still have MJ Stewart. You still have a couple of guys like Justin Evans, Levante David, Quan Alexander, Gerald McCoy, that retooled defensive line. It's a revenge game for guys like Vinny Curry and Bo Allen. You still have Jason Pierre-Paul, who can do a lot of good things. So this defense still has a lot of on-paper potential. They still have a ton of upside, and it's up to Mike Smith to lead these guys, start calling some of these plays and making the correct adjustments, going out there and taking away some of the weapons that these Eagles have, mainly being Zach Ertz, Nelson Aguilar, and Jay Ajayi. So that's what I'm looking for, guys. I'm looking for consistency with the offense because, you know, obviously, even some form of consistency. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect consistency. I don't need us to drop 48 points and, you know, 400-some passing yards. I would take 24 to 30 points, honestly. That could win you a lot of games, okay? But on the defensive side of the ball, I know a lot of people said, okay, well, the defense wasn't that bad. And I agree, the defense wasn't that bad. But now you're probably going to be without Vernon Hargreaves for this game. I don't know the status of Brent Grimes as well, so you need to start catering to the players that you have. You need to start catering to their strengths, like what Todd Monken is doing with the offense. Please, like Jesus, please, just cater to their strengths, Mike Smith. I beg of you. So that's what I'm looking for week 2. Do I think the Bucs can win? Absolutely, I think they can win. I think they have a pretty good chance of winning, especially since last week. So I'm really excited to see this game, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I want us to win our home opener so we can all continue to party down, and we can stay undefeated, because, hey, we're undefeated right now, and it's a wonderful thing. We're first in the NFC South, so, hey, it's whatever, you know. Let me know what you guys think about this game down in the comments section below. Are you guys excited? Are you not excited? Let me know what you guys think. You know, it'd be greatly appreciated. I'd love to hear your guys' takes. The conversations that we've been having, like the likes. You guys have been killing the likes, by the way. Like, it's been phenomenal. All the likes and all the comments you guys have been leaving have just been awesome. So thank you so much for that. It's meant a lot so far. So yeah, guys, keep the conversation going down in the comment section below, and I'll join you down there soon. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed. And as always, I will see you in the next video. But until then, and as always, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.